When I heard Jason's intro last week about only getting the intros to the bad movies, I took it to heart. I got you, man. Today we're going to talk about 2013's The Great Gatsby, a movie based on the American masterpiece from F. Scott Fitzgerald, a novel renowned for its views on racism, sexism, and most of all the class struggle. And then we'll watch as Baz Luhrmann takes this deep and heady story and really makes a movie about the most important parts. Party, mansion, 3D, party, fast cars. Welcome to You've Got Mails.
CJ, I say we hop in the coupe, head down to the Plaza Hotel, grab a couple bottles of whiskey, and watch 2013's The Great Gatsby, directed by Baz Luhrmann. What do you say, old sport?
Only if you stare in my eyes the entire time you're driving recklessly.
Welcome to You've Got Mails, everybody. I'm Jason. I'm here with CJ, and on today's episode, we'll be talking about...
We'll be calling each other old sport for 45 fucking minutes. That's what we're going to do today.
It beats the 2.5 hours I listened to a guy call somebody old sport. Jesus. We're going to be discussing 2013's The Great Gatsby. A fever dream of a movie. I don't know how we'll talk about it. This movie was so wacky to me.
If I would have gone back a week in time,
okay,
and said, Jason, the next movie we're watching is about a bootlegging gangster who throws crazy-ass parties, and Jay-Z does the soundtrack, how would you have felt? You'd have been excited, right?
I don't know if excited's the word. I would have been intrigued, but I was kind of intrigued to watch this movie.
Yeah?
I don't know. I like Baz Luhrmann. I'm not ashamed to say that I like the DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet. Like, Moulin Rouge is like a cool... Like, it's not necessarily like my movie, but stylistically, it's pretty cool. Like, the guy does some neat stuff, like, visually.
Is that on our list? That feels like it should be on our list.
It probably will be after today. They both probably should be, and I don't know if either one of them are.
Oh, I know that Romeo and Juliet is.
All right. So this movie, obviously, based on a pretty celebrated novel, The Great Gatsby, came out in the early 20s. The book has a lot of, like, commentary on class struggle and, like, old money versus new money. There's racism, anti-Semitism. It touches on a lot of, like, serious topics. I don't know if Baz Luhrmann read the book. Like, I think Baz Luhrmann was like, you want me to make a movie about parties? Okay. And you want it to be in 3D? Sign me the fuck up.
Oh, was this shot in 3D?
You couldn't tell. I got a
that
whiplash
explains
watching
it.
this goddamn movie.
I got seasick a few times shooting over the lake.
That's the other thing. Like, who thought that The Great Gatsby needed to be in 3D? Like, I don't know if he read the book. I don't know if he understood the book.
No, books notoriously not in 3D.
I mean, technically, if you're holding one in your hand,
technically everything's in 3D.
We're in 3D right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm coming right towards the mic.
Did somebody drop you one of those pills like in the party in this movie?
I'm telling you, I'm in a weird place with this movie. I don't know what it is. So this framing device I'm about to talk about isn't even in the book either. So, like, they do this horrible thing that I hate where basically Tobey Maguire's character, Nick, is writing the book The Great Gatsby. So right there, you just, like, spit in the guy's face that wrote the book, Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Like, why would you do that? But we get... So we start, like, going, and we get, like, there's a ton of, like, panning shots in this. Like, a ton of CGI in this movie, a ton of, like, weird visual... I will say, I thought this movie was kind of neat visually at times. And then at times I felt like it was beating me over the head with...
Have you ever heard of the Uncanny Valley?
No.
It's a term they use for when you're looking at something, they use it a lot in special effects.
Okay.
Where it looks real, but there's something in the back of your head that's still saying, nope, that's not right.
It's like
there's
AI.
Something wrong there.
Yeah, it's a sixth finger on that hand.
So, like, overcoming the Uncanny Valley is, like, one of the hardest things to do in special effects.
Okay.
The same way, like, if you're looking at one of those AI pictures and you don't notice that the guy has 6 fingers on his hand, but there's the back of your head is saying there's something weird here. And the back of my head was lit up like fucking Spider-Man's little spider sense this entire movie.
Speaking of Spider-Man, so first of all, the movie starts out in 1929 with a voiceover from Tobey Maguire, who plays Nick. And he's doing this awful... He's like, I remember when I met Jay Gatsby. And he's like talking in this old man voice. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be old Tobey Maguire. They're going to age him up or something. Then you get to him, and it's just fucking Tobey Maguire. I'm like, why are you using this voice?
He didn't shave for 2 days.
And then drops the voice immediately. Like, that voice doesn't exist for the rest of the movie until, like, the ending narration. But he's just talking about how, he's in a sanitarium. Like, he's talking to his doctor. He's gone mad with, I guess, alcoholism?
I have it written here. Morbidly alcoholic is what's written on his chart.
It was the 20s. I mean, I don't know why I guess we were past the point of doing coke about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think coke was illegal yet, but, alcohol was all the rage.
Yeah. But I'm just talking about, like, the therapy. Like, I don't know how you fix morbidly alcoholic people. Like, I just thought they would have just doped them up with something. But no, the doctor's like, oh, you should write a book about, like, your feelings, whatever, whatever. Let's talk about, because he's trying to talk to him about what drove him to being mad, and it was basically being around this group of people, these wealthy people who had, like, no regard for anyone. They were these awful, just awful people, and there was this one, like, beacon of light in all of them, Great Gatsby, who's, like, immeasurable hope, just sprung eternal, and, like, this guy's hope was, like, everything for Nick. Like, he just thought he was, like, the fucking bee's knees.
I have eternal hope.
Yes.
That you can help me see what the hell he was talking about in this. Because it missed me completely.
No, I don't. They did a terrible job with it. So if this movie did anything for me, it makes me want to read the book. Because I was like, there's some good stuff here. But I don't think that they knew what they were doing with it.
I have seen this theatrically, like in a theater play.
Okay. Like, there's some really good
I can
themes.
definitely say, like, it went over a lot better in that situation. I feel like he missed, like, minor things that he didn't add in that were in the book or the play that...
Minor things like character depth and fucking plot progression.
I have 3 or 4 different times in this. Oh, she's his cousin. Wait, no, she's not his cousin. Maybe she's his cousin? Like, it's so back and forth.
The play also was in 3D, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's Great Gatsby. Always in...
back. I think it was a 3D production.
Always in 3D. But so this voiceover starts out, and we flash back to 1923 or 22, I believe, is where the meat of the story is set. Nick is a World War I vet. He's come home. He's a bit of a writer, but he's decided that he's not going to make it as a writer, so he moves to New York, and he's going to get in. This is like the beginning of, like, the New York Stock Exchange. Like, stocks and bonds are just, like, coming on the scene. Like, everybody's going, this is like the new gold rush.
They showed a lot of stock footage.
Yeah.
And while they're playing a stock Jay-Z song, I believe.
I don't know. You know what? It was Kanye, because I have in my notes. Wasn't expecting Kanye.
Oh, was it Kanye?
Yeah, there's a few. There's a few Kanye songs. There's some Jay-Z songs. But, he's moved to New York to become, like, a stockbroker. And he moves to a town called West Egg, which is in Long Island. And he's staying in basically a guest house of a very large mansion. He's just, like, in a little shack around the back of it. I don't know if this is why he moves here, but his cousin, Daisy, lives across the lake with her husband, Tom. So we meet these two. He goes to visit them at their house, like, as soon as he moves in. Tom, right out of the gate, insufferable douche.
Oh, he's terrible.
He's the worst. I mean, this guy...
You gotta love a guy that's bragging about all of his sports accomplishments before black people were allowed to play sports.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This guy was terrible. He was awful the entire fucking movie.
Yeah, and he's a fucking star polo player. Like, get the fuck... I mean, I didn't realize it was the 20s, but there was also baseball, Tom. Nobody's watching polo.
Yes.
So, he goes to the house, and Tom, right out of the gate, is like, happy to see him. Like, Tom's basically, like, he's a bro. He's like this guy that used to be good at sports. He doesn't play anymore, but it's all he talks about. And they're very wealthy. They're old money. They've earned their money. Their families have been around for a long time. Tom's has.
Yeah, the lake divides the old money and the new money.
Yeah. So, Nick goes over to visit. We meet Tom. Like I said, just not a good guy, obviously. He takes him inside the house, and we meet his cousin Daisy. And from the very beginning of this, I felt like Tobey Maguire was going to be in love with his cousin. It's very whimsical. Like, he walks in, and, like, the curtains are all billowing, and she's giggling, and her hands are floating up, and he's got, like, this look on his face. And I was like, in my notes, I was like, does he love his cousin? He loves his cousin. We're going to find out he loves his cousin.
Kissy cousins.
Yeah. But, they walk in, and she's actually on the couch with another friend, Jordan, who's a star golfer. Jordan, probably the most kind of liked her out of everybody. She seemed the most.
I wouldn't say liked her. I'd say she's the least insufferable.
Yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, least insufferable.
She's also about 9 foot tall, or Tobey Maguire is 3 foot tall.
No, she's a very tall woman.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a very tall woman. I think she's like over 6 foot, the actress that plays her. I wish I could remember her name. I can't, and I apologize. So we meet her, and Daisy is kind of playing matchmaker, trying to set her up, saying, oh, look, this is my cousin. He's from the Midwest. Isn't he cute? Trying to set him up. And they talk a little bit. They have lunch, and they ask where he's living. And he says, oh, right across the lake. I moved in next to the Gatsby estate. And Daisy perks up, and which Gatsby? And he's like, I don't know. Apparently there's a lot of Gatsbys running around New York. So Nick goes back home, and when he gets back home, he sees, it's kind of our first sighting of Gatsby. Gatsby's this mysterious figure. Right when he moved in, he's kind of like peeking at him throughout his curtains. He kind of senses somebody watching him. Well, now he's back home, and he sees him out on the dock facing Daisy's home, Daisy and Tom's home, just like reaching out like a real fucking weirdo, just like into the darkness, just like reaching out for this like green light that's on the dock at Daisy and Tom's. More voiceover, just like it's almost like he could sense something over there. He senses, and he's reaching out for something.
So was this like I never read the book, and I don't know if I'm going to, but like, is this supposed to be a setup? Like, did Gatsby get him this place? It's very convenient that the woman that he loves,
the
cousin, moves in to the shack next door to his mansion.
The whole thing is ridiculous. Like, there's no way. Like, we'll get into that.
I gotta say, like, I'm a real eat the rich kind of guy. But if I had a giant mansion like this, I'd probably knock the shack down that's next door, like the little shanty
Well,
house.
that's not his property, though. That's not Gatsby's property. That's like his neighbor's property.
Oh.
He just like lives like in the backyard of the guy next to him.
Well, it was very convenient.
Yeah, but Nick sees Gatsby, and he kind of comments on him and just being kind of a weird character. And we also find out that Gatsby throws these humongous parties, like every night, like thousands of people. And they talk about how like people come from all around. Nobody's invited. Everybody just knows like a Gatsby party's happening. Ain't no party like a Gatsby party. And everybody shows up. Which I also thought it would be terrible to live next door to this guy.
Anybody that lived within 4 miles of him.
It's fireworks every night, like cars racing down the streets at 100 miles per hour.
This is how I imagine Elton John's house is like.
Oh, see, but
like I'd like to think that this is cool like this.
Yeah. But that seems like a fun party.
And he shows up every once in a while, and he's just like, come chat with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next day, Tom, Daisy's husband, tells Nick that he wants to take him into the city for lunch and drinks or whatever. Well, as they're on the train into the city, they come through this like town. It's like a waste dump of a town. Like it's literally
a waste dump. That's what he says. That's where they bring the spent coal from New York.
But there's people that live here. Like there's little shacks, there's a garage. So they hurry up and jump off the train, and he runs over and starts talking to this guy named George. Tom does. He's a mechanic. He has his own shop, and he's in the process of trying to sell him one of his cars. But we also find out that Tom is sleeping with George's wife, played by one of my absolute favorite people, Isla Fisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she comes down the stairs, and
meanwhile, I like George a lot more. Hero of this story, if you ask me.
She plays a character named Myrtle. So Myrtle comes down the stairs, and we find out that Tom is sleeping with George's wife, Myrtle.
Sexy seductress Myrtle.
Yeah. And somehow, I don't know how he manages it, but like, he just kind of takes her away, like right in front of George. Like, George is kind of a dumbass.
Yeah.
To be real honest. Takes her away, and then they go off to the city, and he says, oh, we're going to buy you a puppy.
Yeah.
Next scene is like poor Nick sitting in an apartment with this new dog just staring at him. Well, you just hear like fucking Tom railing Myrtle in the next room.
Yeah, he's getting real weird with it.
I'm like, this is your wife's cousin you've brought with you, that you were just sitting in a room right outside the bedroom while you like pipe down your mistress. Seemed like an odd choice for me. But there's some weird stuff.
Hey, this guy balls.
There's some weird stuff, because then some other people show up, because Myrtle has a bunch of friends that she's invited, and she actually says to Nick that like there's a girl that she thinks will be perfect for him.
And did you catch the quick thing he says to him when he comes out of the bedroom?
This is what I was about to say. He's like, I know you liked watching when we were in college. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, they could have expanded on that.
They could have. Or they could have left it out entirely. Like, there was no need for me to have to imagine like young Tobey Maguire watching Tom just like bang possibly his cousin in college. I don't even know. But it was very strange, and it came out of left field and was never addressed again.
Nope.
From here, they just have like basically like a raging hotel party, or in this like apartment or hotel room.
They fucking destroy that place.
They do. And like the one girl that was Myrtle's friends, like she immediately is all over Nick. Just like making out with him, like trying to get him drunk.
She shoves a pill in her mouth and then shoves it into his mouth with her mouth.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of drugs they had back then, but he goes on a ride, man.
He does. And he says that this is only the second time in his life he's ever been drunk.
That's not drunk.
And
You got like roofied, or she slipped you some acid, or I don't know what was it. Acid wasn't even.
Well, I think
invented.
he was drunk before she gave him the pill, because he starts drinking and then he says, this is only the second time in my life I've ever been drunk. And then she slips the pill in his mouth too. But he wakes up the next day in his underwear on a porch swing. We've all been there.
I've done that. Yeah,
we know.
Maybe not a porch swing. Those are hard to get into when you're drunk.
We know what Nick's getting going.
But definitely on the back porch.
But this is kind of like the first step into Nick becoming morbidly alcoholic. Although it's never really touched on. Like, he seems fine the rest of the movie. He does drink a lot. Like, every time they're at a party, he's like grabbing a glass of champagne.
Yeah, but everybody's boozing constantly.
And he never once seems like overly drunk at any of these parties. But they make a big deal about how he wasn't a drinker and now all of a sudden he is.
He does not piss his pants once.
No.
And as we know, that's what alcoholics do.
He gets an invitation to one of Gatsby's parties. Like a personally delivered, like handwritten invitation. And they make a big deal about how no one gets invited to Gatsby's parties. Like I said, they just show up. So he gets all dressed up. He goes to the party. He runs into Jordan, the golf girl, the Amazonian golfer.
Yes.
From before. And there's definitely some chemistry between the two. I guess in the book, they do end up dating.
Yeah, he also runs into Jordan's boyfriend.
No, I don't know who this guy is.
Oh, he was just the hopeful?
He's just a random guy, but it's very strange and like shoehorned in where I guess they're trying to talk about the class struggle and kind of like,
yeah, she could never be with a poor boy like you.
Yeah, this guy's acting was so god awful. Like, he's trying to dance with her, and this guy swoops in, and he's just like, oh, don't you understand? Like, rich girls don't marry poor boys, and like just all this random bullshit. So the whole party is like this guy like trying to cock block Nick like over and over again.
Yeah.
But they go out throughout the party, and there is some chemistry between the two. They don't ever really talk about in the movie whether they date or not. That's also...
But you said they do in the book.
They do in the book, from what I understand, yes. A lot of things I think get glossed over in this movie in favor of giant dance numbers and fireworks and CGI.
There was some cool music in the 20s. They could have used some of it.
And they did. Like, I honestly preferred the times when they were not using the Jay-Z and the Kanye. There were some good like jazz songs and things that they would do dance numbers to, which I thought was enjoyable. I also think that this movie was kind of made like they want the excess and the party to be like the focal point of this, I feel like. And I guess when you make a movie in modern times, like if you're hearing like My Old Ragtime Gal, like you're not thinking, oh, these people like to go hard, they party. But you hear fucking Jay-Z, HOV,
yeah,
then you're like, oh yeah, I get it. But I didn't personally. I prefer the older stuff.
You get down with the Izzo, old sport.
Yeah. H to the Izzo. But they start kind of snooping around. They want to meet Gatsby. And they go into like a library and they find this old man who I think he's just in there snooping. Like I think he's looking because he's kind of like the Gatsby expert, but not really. Like he tells them like, oh, you won't find Gatsby. Like which Gatsby are you looking for? The spy, the oil tycoon. Like he's got all these different personas that everybody thinks he is, but he's not really like a real person.
In a room, I mean, I assume it's a library, but it is also filled with a weird amount of completely full martinis. Well, they're on every surface of the room.
As we come to find out, Gatsby is new money, and I think he just buys whatever and just fills his house with like random bullshit. Is the impression that I get. So maybe he just thinks that that's the thing to do. He's like, somebody will walk in here at some point and be thirsty. I should put out some martinis for the guests in the library. From there, they leave the room, and that fucking guy swoops in again and like kind of steals Jordan away. And Nick's trying to catch up to her, and this guy keeps like trying to talk to him. And he's kind of ignoring him, like trying to get to Jordan. And then finally it's revealed that this is Gatsby.
Yeah.
This is where we get our first real look at Leonardo DiCaprio.
We get that meme face.
The holding up the champagne glass, which I guess if you saw this in theaters, was fucking coming right at you. Like that champagne glass was coming right at your face.
They just splashed you with a little bit of booze in the theater.
But he meets Gatsby, and Gatsby just kind of like talks to him a little bit about, I know you're my neighbor, yada, 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 whatever. It's nothing like real... integral. It's not like any kind of like earth-shattering conversation. He does say that he'll talk to him later, and then he calls for Jordan up to his room. Like, he has to leave because he gets a phone call. And then his, like, henchman, Herzog, his, like, right-hand man who's, like, kind of always whispering in his ear at these parties, comes down and says that Mr. Gatsby, like, have a word with you, Jordan, and takes her away.
She just, like, see ya.
Yeah, she leaves Nick behind. Like, this poor Nick.
Catch you in the morning, bro.
Yeah. And then later at the party, or at the end of the party, Nick's leaving. And, like, Tobey Maguire is such a fucking cornball in this movie. Like, all he's there to do is basically just look at people and kind of smile with, like, mild interest, and then just be like, yep, there's a person. This guy seems wealthy.
He's like a fish out of water, but, like, I think the idea is that he's supposed to be sort of critiquing these people as he's learning about how fucking crazy they are.
But he never does.
But he never does. He just sort of buys into it.
He doesn't do anything. That's the thing. He doesn't buy into it. He doesn't go against it.
Oh, I think he's totally with it. He's just like, I want to be these people.
He's just kind of, see, in my opinion, he's just kind of there. But at the end of the party, like, he just walks out, big stupid grin on his face, and we see Jordan peeling off in the back of this guy's car from before. And she's like, my number's in the phone book. We'll get tea. And he's like, all right, I'll call you. Great. And then as he goes back to his home for the evening, Gatsby kind of wanders into his yard and catches him before he goes in the house and apologizes for having to steal Jordan away. And asks him if he wants to go on a ride on his plane the next day.
He was like, it's okay, old sport. I wasn't really looking to sleep with her anyway. I like to watch.
God. So he invites him to go out on his plane. And then from here, we don't see any of this stuff. We just get voiceover of, like, Nick, like, I rode on his plane once and I went to 2 more of his parties.
They had to have run out of funding, right? Like, they were just like, we ain't got the plane money.
I guess so. He's like, and I went to 2 more of his parties before I really found out who Gatsby was. And the next day he picks him up. He comes by and he says, I want to take you into the city for lunch. And they get in the car. And this is where the fucking car scenes in this movie, every car is going 100 miles an hour. They're swerving in and out of traffic. It's fucking too Gatsby, too furious.
And like I said, he's staring him in the eyes for most of this.
Yeah, like it's like they're just having a conversation as he flies in and out of traffic.
But imagine if I'm just staring you in the eyes doing 120 in this crazy old tank of a car.
Yeah. So, but somehow they managed to get everywhere unscathed. And but on the car ride, he kind of tells him like what his deal is. He went to Oxford. He was in the military. He was like a World War hero. Has like a Medal of Valor. Like basically just produces receipts. Like,
yeah, he backs it up.
Yeah, like this is me. This is who I am. Which, first of all, if I ever met someone and like unprovoked, they were like, "This is who I am. Here's all the proof." I'd be like, "You're a fucking liar." Like I wouldn't believe any of it. Like there's no way that doesn't happen. When someone has to go that far out of their way to tell you how great they are and like show you proof of how great they are, without there being something behind it.
I mean, the guy already owns a gigantic mansion, throws these giant parties. You really need like backup. Like he's already interesting.
Yeah, you don't need to know how he got his money, I don't think, but this is like the big mystery is like where Gatsby came from and how he's there and how he can afford to do all this stuff. So they end up at this barbershop where we meet Wolfsheim, who is basically like, I don't know what he is. He's Gatsby's
Jewish mobster.
Okay.
Is what I read. Like he's
yeah. I mean, that's what it seems like. He doesn't really. He's just Gatsby's associate. And the guy is creepy as fuck.
He is super intimidating. I would not want to sit at a table with this man.
No. He's getting a haircut, so they stop in and see him, and then we find out that the barber is actually a speakeasy. So they go through the wall, and they go down to have lunch, and Gatsby, we find out that he's very connected. Like, he's talking to the police commissioner while they're down there. We see him get out of a speeding ticket, like, early on, because he just holds up his name on a card, and the guy's like, "Oh, sir, I didn't know." There's, like, mobsters in this... This restaurant they go to is like all the big names, like from both sides of the law. We get like big bank owners. Walter Chase was obviously like a real character, like Walter Chase Bank, the big time money guy.
Yeah,
police commissioner, gangsters. They're all kind of rubbing elbows, and Gatsby knows all of them.
Kind of shows that they're all in on it together.
Yeah,
this is more of that class struggle shit.
Yeah, Gatsby knows all of them, and he gets up to go like talk to somebody and leaves Nick with Wolfsheim. And it's just very, like, he's very creepy to him. Like there were points in this, I think I put in my notes that when I was like, are they both going to try to have sex with Nick right now? Because it seemed like very much like that couple across the bar that is like, hey, we'd like to talk to you a minute. Like, let's get to know each other.
In 3D.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, You got a hand on your lap from either side, and you're like, oh shit.
Now, did you get that he was a bootlegger? Like, I had to Google it later. They don't really spell it out.
They do later on. Or are you talking about Gatsby?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do later on.
Okay,
Yeah.
I must have missed it. Truth be told, I fell asleep the first time I watched this movie.
I don't know how you could have.
I had to watch it again the next day.
It's a whirlwind. So we find out that Gatsby comes back to sit down at the table, and Nick does have a date for tea with Jordan a little bit later. And he tells Nick that, like, the reason he spoke to Jordan that night is because she has a request from him. Like, he can't just ask him himself for some reason.
He's a real peculiar guy.
He's very strange. I think that's meant to be that way. Like, he's supposed to be like this mystery. You know, he lets Nick know that Jordan's gonna have a request for him. So when they do meet for tea, we get a backstory for Gatsby, like who he is and why he's doing what he's doing. Jordan lets Nick know that when she spoke to Gatsby, him and Daisy were together like 5 years prior. Gatsby had to go away to the war. While he was at war, she met Tom and they got married. Well, on the day of her wedding, she got a letter from Gatsby and was like totally inconsolable day of the wedding, but she married Tom anyway. Nobody knows what the letter said. It didn't say anything, but Gatsby wants Nick to have a tea party at his home, his little shack, and he's going to pop in so that he can see Daisy. From here, this I thought was a pretty funny part of the movie is Gatsby starts like totally like landscapes the entire shack.
He completely redoes his place.
Yeah. He does the whole yard. He puts up a fountain.
There's like so many flowers in every room of the house that you can barely walk.
God forbid she's allergic to something.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? Like there are a ridiculous amount of flowers in this tiny little space. And Daisy shows up the day of the tea. And she comes in and she sees all the flowers and she's like, oh God, he's in love with me. Like thinks her own cousin's in love with her, which I was like, this is what I thought as well.
Yeah, maybe he is.
Yeah. And she seems okay with it, oddly enough. She's like, oh my goodness.
I think the richer you are, the less of a chance of like inbreeding.
Is that how that works?
I'm pretty sure. I think money solves that problem.
I don't think that's true.
Ask the royals.
Oh.
Ayo.
Hey, anyway, Gatsby does show up, but he's like super awkward and nervous. Like Daisy's in there. He comes in. I'm sorry, he's actually in the house waiting. So when Daisy gets there, Nick brings her in, and then Gatsby's not in the room, and he's like, well, what the hell is going on here? It's pouring down rain outside. So he's like looking around, and he's not there, so he's like, all right, I guess I'm just going to have tea with my cousin, and it looks like I'm in love with her, so thanks a lot, Gatsby. Like, you fucked me over here. Then he gets a knock on the door, and it's Gatsby, like, just completely soaked, and he's like, I don't know what to do. And Nick's like, just please come in, like, it's embarrassing, like, you've invited her over here, like, you have to see her. So Gatsby walks in and they immediately just kind of like rekindle their love affair. Like they're obviously very interested in each other still. Like Daisy's still interested in him. Nick excuses himself and like tries to leave for a little bit to give them some time. And from here, Nick just becomes like the best third wheel.
He likes to watch, man.
You know what? There's actually some truth.
Makes some sense now that I think about it, because he is there for the most loving date ever. Have you ever been the third wheel?
Yeah.
And you just realize in the middle, you're like, oh, I gotta go. Like, I don't need to be here for this. This is dumb. I'm going to leave.
He tries, but he comes back. He's basically with them throughout their entire affair. So we get like a little montage of scenes where they're out on a boat, like golfing, like hitting golf balls into the water, and they're taking pictures, and like Nick's taking Polaroids of them as they like embrace and like flirt. So I mean, there's
like a fine line between wingman and third wheel, but I think there's even a finer line between third wheel and weird voyeur.
Yeah.
And he crosses all three of these in one afternoon.
It is. I feel like if I watch this movie again, I'd have a totally different perspective. Because like I caught the "you like to watch" line, and then it totally left my mind. But now that you're saying it, he is there for like everything. Yeah. Just watching them on dates and like with them the entire time.
Falling in love with possibly both of them.
So, you know, and there's another scene where they're in the house. He's taking her on the tour of the mansion. And we find out that Gatsby has been building up his wealth, like trying to make money. We get like his version of his origin story, which was, you know, he saved like a rich guy on a boat. And this guy gave him all of his money. And so he's using all this money to like build this house. And he built the house right across the lake from Daisy.
No. The guy left him all the money. The family screwed him out of it. And then they actually don't explain how he's got the money now. That was the line.
You're right. But that's so ridiculous too. Like the family screwed you out of their own father's inheritance. Like, get the fuck out of here, you entitled douche. Like, yeah.
From that one time you went boating with him?
Yeah. Oh, the family stole his inheritance from me, a totally non-related person. We also find out this is the origin of old sport. Because he says the phrase old sport so many times in this movie.
They could have cut it down to half and it would still be too many.
Yeah.
But it would have been easier to digest.
Yeah. But he basically, this is like the most romantic form of stalking I think I've ever seen. Sort of at this point where I'm like, oh, he like loves her so much that he's built all this up just to be close to her. And he's like having all these parties just hoping that one day she'll walk in. Like, he's never actually been like, hey, it's me that lives over here. Remember me? He's just like hoping to like a chance encounter with her. And he's been trying to like build this stuff up so that it'll be ready for her. It's almost like a Notebook scenario where like he never got over her. And he's like built this whole life and house, like just waiting. Like she's the final piece of the puzzle.
Like if I lived across that lake and a couple times a week it looked like the fucking Olympic opening games were happening, I would have wandered over there. Like, I can't believe she never had.
Yeah.
She didn't know this was going on.
And even the fact that like they were like, oh, Gatsby lives across the lake, and she's like, which one? Like, she didn't decide to stop over for a party after that. Like, apparently she didn't care that much.
Everybody who was anybody knew about Gatsby's parties. Yeah. Except for his neighbors.
Yeah.
They were completely oblivious.
At one point, they have another party, and Daisy brings Tom to the party. This is like while they're having their affair, basically. Brings her husband to the party, and then that got really awkward because Gatsby like flat out tells him like, "Oh, I know your wife." It doesn't tell him how. It's very like ominous and like, you're married. If like some random guy like you, Tristan was like, "Let's go to a party," and you went to the party, and then the guy that was hosting the party was just like, "Oh, I know your wife," and that's it.
Yeah,
you're like, "Well, how did you two meet?" I just know your wife. Like, I'm like, what? All right, we're leaving.
5 years ago. We got married 10 years ago.
Yeah, we're leaving. We need to have a conversation. So
Toby, get in the car. We're leaving.
Yeah. So they sneak. Gatsby and Daisy sneak off and leaves Nick and Tom. And Tom's just like, kind of like beside himself because he doesn't know what's going on. He's freaking out about the party. At this point, like Daisy like says to Gatsby, like, let's just run off together. And this like infuriates him. Because he's like, I've spent all this money, like, to build this house and all this stuff for you. It's at this point where I was like, all right, this isn't as sweet anymore. Because Gatsby, all he cares about is the money and, like, a certain kind of life. Like, he has this, he's dead set on this vision of this, like, rich lifestyle with Daisy in it. And if he has to leave all of it and only has Daisy, he doesn't want it. So it's like he doesn't really want her.
He wants it all, man.
Yeah, he wants it all. So they decide, he won't. He wants her to leave Tom. Like, that's the only option. So they have, like, a big get-together to, like, break the news to Tom. And fucking poor Tobey Maguire invited to this as well. So they're having, like, dinner. They invite Gatsby over for dinner at, like, their own home. So they're, Daisy and Tom are in the dining room. Jordan's there. Toby's there. And they're about to spring it on Tom, and then Daisy can't do it. Like, she freaks out. And Tom is starting to get suspicious and, like, angry. So whenever Gatsby's about to break it, Daisy like freaks out. She's like, let's just go to the city. Let's leave. Let's go to the city. Let's all go to the city. It's too hot here. It's colder in the city, obviously.
Let's drive through that town where all the poors live and go live it great in the city.
Yeah. And Tom like is starting to get suspicious. And he says, all right, well, let's go to the city. We'll go get a hotel. He's actually been digging around on Gatsby a little bit, like trying to find some things out.
I would be too.
Yeah, absolutely. After the whole I know your wife scenario.
I mean, he's like no Cyclops. He's a terrible human being.
Yeah, he's a shitty person, yeah.
But he's got his suspicions.
Yeah, absolutely. So they decide to go to the city. They take two separate cars. Tom wants to drive Gatsby's like super nice yellow sports car. So he takes Jordan and Nick in that and lets Gatsby and his wife drive his car to the city, which is also weird. Like, if you're suspicious, it's a weird way to split up the group, but he does anyway.
It feels like the whole time it is like an exercise in one-upping each other with the crazy.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Like, I can make this weirder.
Yeah. So they...
What I'm going to do, I'm going to unzip my pants, stick my pinky finger out of the pants hole, and I'm going to wiggle it at him.
Jesus. So they go through town. They go through the little dump town. And they stop for a minute. He stops in to get gas, actually, at George's gas station, the guy whose wife he's diddling.
Yeah.
And George is, like, beside himself, and he's like, oh, I think she's cheating on me. Like, we're leaving. I'm packing things up and I'm leaving. At this point, Tom's like getting real desperate because like now his wife he thinks is leaving him, plus his side piece is about to like head out of town. So he's kind of like beside himself even more so.
Fucking dog wants nothing to do with him.
Yeah. So we get a scene of them racing to the hotel from here, and it's more just batshit crazy driving between the two of them. Like, they're racing each other.
I mean, it just goes to show they have no care for anybody.
Yeah, across the Brooklyn Bridge, just driving like complete assholes.
I mean, like, and it's not like the cool cars now where they're made out of cheap plastic and they turn into popcorn when they hit something.
No, that's a tank.
Yeah, those things. You hit somebody with that car, you're not even going to know.
Yes, exactly. So they finally get to the hotel. They go to the Ritz, Carlton, or whatever hotel they go to. And it's at this point, Gatsby is just like, your wife doesn't love you anymore. She loves me. She's never loved you. And they get into this big argument where Daisy, they're fighting over Daisy. She's standing right fucking there. Gets no say in it, like the entire time.
But why would she? It was the 20s, sir.
But he says to Daisy, like, Gatsby's like, tell him you never loved him. Tell him you never loved him. And she's like, I can't because I did love him. There was a point where I did, but I don't love him anymore. And I want to be with you. And this is like, again, not good enough for Gatsby.
He has incredibly high standards on how the situation should be.
That's what I mean. He's got everything like planned out in his head how it ought to be. And if it doesn't go the way he wants it. So like, he never really wanted Daisy. Like, I don't feel like. I mean, he did, but he only wanted it like a certain way. And that's not a good way to build a relationship.
I mean, they do reference like with Tobey Maguire in the beginning. When the guy says, like, a guy like you could never be with a rich girl. Yeah. I think his idea is that, like, even though she doesn't care about all that, she just wants to be with him.
Right, because he wasn't rich. He's from, like...
Yeah, and that's why isn't that what he wrote in the letter or something? Or he told her before, like, I'm going to go make my money. And then
he tells Nick this in a little bit. He gives him, like, his real kind of origin story. But so they get in this big blowout argument, and Daisy doesn't seem to want to be with Gatsby anymore. And Tom is just like, we'll fix this. Like, let's get it taken care of. Let's all go back to the house. But again, you drive with Gatsby, and I'll take the other three. And, like, we'll switch cars, though. We'll switch cars. So they start going back to town, again, driving like fucking lunatics. And we see Myrtle and George arguing. You know, he's confronting her about cheating. I think he hits her at one point. Like, he seems like he's an abusive guy. And she runs out of the house and starts running into the street and sees this yellow car that Tom was driving earlier. It's going fucking 80. Like, not a great idea on Myrtle's part. Like, I don't know what she was thinking. But she runs out middle of the street to try to flag down Tom so he'll take her with him. And the car just fucking mows her over. And we get like this weird like slow-mo like Isla Fisher like flying through the air. Yeah. Looks pretty good for getting hit by a giant piece of steel going 80. She should just be like fucking particles.
Oh, yeah.
But not a hair out of place. Just like a little dribble of blood down the forehead, pinwheeling through the air. And they don't stop. The car just keeps going. Tom...
That's some rich people shit right there.
Tom and Jordan and... Toby come back through and they see the big crowd of people and everybody's like gathered around, so they stop. Tom walks in and sees like a body like with the sheet over it and lifts the sheet. And it's Isla Fisher. Again, looking really good for getting hit by a fucking...
for being dead for 4 hours.
Yeah, and just like being hit by like a real fucking piece of like American engineering, man. Like this thing, like those things were not meant to buckle.
Solid 4 tons moving 80 miles an hour.
But she's fine. I mean, dead, but fine. So he finds George, who's like freaking out, and he's like, I know who was driving the car. His name's Gatsby. Like, it was his car. And then George is like, maybe he's the guy that was sleeping with my wife. And Tom just like slowly backs out of the room. Like, yeah, maybe. It might have been, might have been. You know, I think you're onto something with that one. I think it might have been Gatsby as well.
Got it, old sport.
Yeah. Good, best of luck. No, he does say, he's like, something should be done about this guy. Like, kind of starts planting the seeds, like trying to get Gatsby in trouble. They go back to the house, and as Nick's leaving, he finds Gatsby outside, like hiding in the bushes, because he's like, I'm just waiting to see like what happens with Tom and Daisy. And we find out that Daisy was actually driving, because she was like really worked up when they left the house, and she felt like driving might calm her. And
suddenly, all of her like innocence in this story just gets flushed down the toilet.
Yeah, like she's not.
She just murdered. Well, I guess it was her husband's mistress, but she didn't know that.
Yeah, no, she didn't know that, and like she did just fucking unalive someone and then just kept driving. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
So
me and you pretty tight. You run somebody down the street, I might have to let a cop know.
It's the 1920s. You ran someone over in like a slum, essentially. And you're a rich white lady. Like, you probably would have gotten away with it. Like, I don't think any, you're getting
no, she does.
Yeah, but they never knew it was her. But I'm saying if she would have just stopped and been like, hey, They probably didn't have laws against hit and runs at that point. They didn't even have red lights in
Here's
the 20s.
$50. Go buy yourself 17 acres of land.
Yeah. But they drive off. So Gatsby goes back to his house, and Nick overhears Tom telling Daisy, like, we'll take care of this. Don't worry about Gatsby. We'll leave together. We'll go away. Nick relays this to Gatsby, and Gatsby's like, she just needs time to kind of decide that she's going to come to me. Like, he's not going to do anything about it. But this is kind of where this is like the worst part of Gatsby, I feel like. I mean, the whole guy, him as a guy, I don't understand like why Nick looks up to him so highly. But he tells kind of like his real origin story. Again, but this time we find out that he came from he was like a poor like dirt farmer, like came from this family of poor people, wouldn't even acknowledge his own parents because they were poor, because he felt like he was destined for greatness and they were just holding him back. He went off to fight in the war. He met Daisy. They were at like a rich people's home, like they were all soldiers, and he fell in love with her, but he couldn't be with her because he was poor. So the day of her wedding, the letter he sent to her said like, I want to be with you, but I have to go and like find my fortune first, and then I'll come back for you. We also found out through Tom, because Tom did all of his digging, that Gatsby's actually running moonshine. He's a bootlegger.
Okay, that must have passed me by.
Yeah, Tom blows.
Because I had to Google this later.
Yeah, in the hotel. I passed over it, but in the hotel, he kind of tells everybody, like, blows up Gatsby's spot and tells everybody, like, he's a bootlegger. He's doing things in the stock market with the bonds and everything, which he said, looks at Nick and says, he's pulling you into it too. So he's doing all these illegal activities. That's where he got all of his money at. But Gatsby's just like, I'm just going to wait. She'll be here. She'll be over. And he's like,
meanwhile, he goes and polishes the dents out of his car.
yeah. Well,
Damn, like cold-blooded.
Well,
murdered a woman. He's just like, fuck my car all up.
He didn't murder her, and I mean, you probably want to get rid of it.
Just to show how much they care.
Yeah.
Where he's not even doing it like, I need to get rid of the evidence. He's just like, fuck.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know how hard it is to get a grill like this?
That's not gonna buff out.
Yeah.
But he's just pining around the house, just like waiting for her to call, and we get a scene where he's in the pool and the phone rings, and he starts to get out of the pool, and Herzog, his like right-hand man, answers the phone. He's like, oh, Mr. Gatsby, we'll be very happy to hear from you. And at this point you see George come up from behind in the pool and just fucking murders him.
Real hero of the story.
George shoots Gatsby in the back and then shoots himself.
I was afraid I was going to be watching this movie for the next 12 hours. Thank God he was able to end it.
And if you were watching it in 3D, the bullet came right through him and right at your face. And then we also see, so like Gatsby dies thinking Daisy's on the phone. It's just Tobey Maguire. And he's on the other end of the phone just like, hello? Is everything okay? Hello? And then we get like just the rest of Nick's voiceover talking about how, no one came to Gatsby's funeral.
Yeah, joke was on me because much like the beginning of this where you don't see the Great Gatsby for 30 minutes, after he's gone, there's still 30 minutes of movie.
Yeah. He's talking about how nobody came to the funeral. He was blamed for Myrtle's death. He calls Daisy, like trying to get a hold of her to let her know the funeral's that day. And like her and Tom are just packing up and leaving town. And the servant is answering the phone and just like, oh no, they've left already. Meanwhile, they're like right below in the foyer. It's like putting on their coats and like ignoring the fact that someone's trying to get a hold of them. So they like just fuck off.
I never once got the feeling that she thought that it was true love with Gatsby. She was mad that her husband's sleeping around and she's like, all right, maybe I do need to get back with this guy. But like, I never got the feeling for a second that there was like, undeniably, this is the love of my life.
I believe there was. Because like I said, they show her get the letter on her wedding day and she's just a total mess and inconsolable. She is really happy to see him again, and they do rekindle this romance. It's just when he starts, like, she offers to run away with him. She's like, let's just get out of here. And he's like, no, fuck all that. Like, I did all this for you. And then, like, when they're fighting in the hotel room and it doesn't go to plan for him again, and he's like, no, it has to be my way. Like, I think she kind of starts to not be interested in him anymore. My big problem is, like, you've got more than two choices, Daisy. Like, you don't have to go back to Tom. Like, you could just be with neither one of them. Go off with your cousin. Live in a shack. He seems nice.
Maybe go raise that daughter that you only see once every couple months.
They do have a daughter, and you don't even ever see her.
Not until the very, like, last bits.
You don't know they have a kid until they're packing up and getting ready to leave the house. But yeah, I mean, that's it. And then we just get, like, Maguire at the end, like, finishing off his, like, writing, and it's just called, Gatsby is what he's writing, and then he puts a little exclamation point on it and writes "the Great," and you're like, motherfucker, like, why? Ugh. That's that movie.
That's that.
Yeah, that's that, old sport. Do you have any flowers or grand gestures for this one, CJ?
Not really a ton. I do like that there were cool little Easter eggs around like Gatsby's house. Like at one point he walks by his fucking Whistler's mother is one of the paintings in the background.
Yeah.
Like one of the most famous paintings in the entire world.
Yeah.
And he's just got it hanging up in his house.
There is a point too where Zelda Fitzgerald, I don't think it's his house. I think Tom and Daisy have it in their home. A picture of Zelda Fitzgerald, who is the wife of the guy who wrote the book. Yeah.
Scott Fitzgerald.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that.
Yeah, this movie just confused the shit out of me the entire time. And I guess I just don't I don't know. I wouldn't mind having a ton of money, but like this seems to make it horrible. Like everybody around you is just a terrible human being.
Everybody's awful.
Everybody's worried about themselves. I wouldn't want to have lived in this time. Actually, the only place that seemed cool in this entire movie was at Speakeasy. Oh, and when they were in, I'm guessing that's Harlem or something like that, like for the party in the hotel room.
Oh yeah,
with the guy out playing jazz on the back balcony for I don't know 12 hours or whatever. Like the sun's going up and down.
Yeah, just watching everybody else have an orgy in the hotel across from him.
Yeah, like that seemed like a cool little neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think I'd fit in with the New Egg folks.
Am I wrong? There was a scene in that part too where Tobey Maguire is looking out and looking into all the different windows and like watching people and commenting on the fact that he's watching all these different people.
He's really into it, man.
Fuck. This movie takes a whole new... Man. I'm going to have to watch it again just to see what a pervert Nick was.
Don't do it to yourself.
Mine was just, I don't get why Nick was so enamored with Gatsby. Like, he was not that great of a guy. Like, I don't know what hope... Like, Nick was just completely blind to all of it.
Were they missing, like, a lot? Like, how much time passed during this movie? Was it a year? Was it 2 weeks?
I don't know.
Like, maybe there was a lot of time where he got to realize that Gatsby was a cool guy, but
put it in the fucking movie and let me see it. Because at the end, you're just like, I don't understand why you like this guy so much. Because he seems like a real wackadoo. Other than that, the only other thing I have is 55. That's how many times Old Sport is said in this movie. All but 4 by Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wow.
Yeah, 55 times he says Old Sport. It's too many.
Yeah, it could have been 10 and I would have gotten the point.
Yeah. There was no point. What was the point? It was just a stupid saying. I didn't care for it.
I know the listener at home can't hear me shaking my head hard as fuck right now.
I can tell you. I'm seeing it in 3D. This motherfucker is shaking his head. Oh, sorry, Old Sport. All right, let's chick flick it to a dick flick it.
Yeah, you go first. Mine probably sucks.
This one was hard.
Yeah.
So, for some reason, right when this movie started, maybe it's because it's DiCaprio, but like they're panning across like this water with all this fog and stuff, and it's got this kind of like eerie, like Maguire's old man, like, oh, I remember when I was, and then like he's journaling, like he's in a sanitarium. You ever see the movie Shutter Island?
Yes.
Or DiCaprio's like
with DiCaprio,
thinks he's a detective, but he's not really. He's just an inmate at the asylum. Mine is none of this shit ever happened. Nick is actually Gatsby. Like, he's crazy. He's in love with his own cousin because he's a fucking weirdo and he likes to watch people. He grew up like watching like Tom like bang his cousin for like years, and it basically mentally broke him. So he created Gatsby as like this alter ego, like an imaginary person that could be in love with Daisy and get Daisy. And by the end, like they put him in a sanitarium, and everybody's better off for it. I feel like that's mine. I don't know. I had a hard time with this one.
This one was tough.
Yeah.
And all I could think is
honestly, you want to make this a dick flick, like a good movie? Fucking get Baz Luhrmann out of there. I don't need all this 3D CGI horse shit. And like, give me like some real, like this movie could have been like real deep. Like I do really want to read the book now, but like this really could have had like some real like social commentary and like some dark gritty stuff that this movie just didn't give me. It's like they took like something that could have been really deep and meaningful and just polished it up and just like shoved it in my face 80 miles an hour.
Diving into a solo cup of depth.
Yeah, so like give me this movie, but like make it good. That's how you make a dick flick out of this.
Wow. Mine's just cheesy. We already got Spider-Man. We have this green light across the bay.
Okay.
Like halfway through, the Green Lantern shows up. They just start fighting over Leonardo DiCaprio. Just have them beating the hell out of each other for 45 minutes while they just call each other old sport. In the very end, they're both slugging it out. Jamie Foxx shows up. Django Unchained puts two in the back of DiCaprio's head and rolls out of there.
I love it. I love it.
That's
This
what
movie
I wanted
was
to-
like shot like a superhero movie. A lot of it, like just like the big sweeping shots and like the. There's one point where like they go over the top of a building in like a drone basically and just straight down to the fucking sidewalk. Like it gave me fucking motion sickness at points. Like I felt like I had whiplash during certain scenes.
Very much so. I have that in my notes.
Yeah.
Seasick from these camera movements.
Yeah, it was too much, Baz. Too much. Let's Nicolas Cage it. You can go first this time.
All right. I want him to be George, of course.
Really?
The hero of the story. Yeah.
I think he'd
He's
be a
got to
good.
be in this movie. Let's make him the hero.
I think he'd be a good Gatsby too.
I didn't catch that he was beaten up on Isle of Fisher. That kind of changes.
Yeah, I think he did, or at least shoved her or something at the end. That's why she ran out of the house. I think Nicolas Cage would make a great Gatsby too, because he's already kind of an eccentric rich weirdo.
Oh.
Like he would just have this big mansion full of like weird stuff and be throwing like weird parties and
Yeah.
it's like Nicolas Cage is like, welcome to my mansion, and like here's my Superman costume and here's this giant dinosaur skull and
Here's the things that they don't even come out for another 40 years, but I have them.
yeah, exactly. All right, mine. I went with George as well.
Nice.
A connected George. So George is played by a guy named Jason Clarke. He was in Oppenheimer.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
by the
he's a
way.
good actor.
He's one of those guys you
like
see him.
bit
and-
player. Like he's
yeah.
always like a supporting role, but he's usually pretty good. So he was in Oppenheimer, which also starred Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt was in Sicario with Benicio del Toro. He's in one of my favorite movies, The Way of the Gun. You ever seen that with Ryan Phillippe?
I have not.
It's a good movie. That also stars Juliette Lewis, who was in Natural Born Killers with Tom Sizemore. And Tom Sizemore is in a movie that looks to me to be like a straight-to-video action movie called Speed Kills.
Ooh.
Not with Nicolas Cage, but with John Travolta. And we all know how to connect John Travolta to Nicolas Cage.
That's right. You
bit of-
take his face.
You take his face right off. All right, let's rate this thing.
You first. I'm interested. I think I know what I have on this.
It's going to be low.
All right, I'm just going to go. 0.5.
0.5?
Yeah, this movie is the equivalent of cupping your own fart and smelling it yourself. There was so much self-indulgence in this.
Yeah.
That, like, it's masturbation.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Whoever was in this movie, this was them getting off.
Yeah, Baz Luhrmann was getting high off the smell of his own
Yeah,
farts.
do you ever remember the South Park where they're just
Yeah.
farting into wine glasses and sniffing
Yeah,
it?
that's Baz Luhrmann while he's making The Great Gatsby.
Yes.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to Google this much of the story to understand what the fuck was going on after a movie. So, yeah, 0.5. I think this might be my lowest movie, and I was going to give it a 0.25, except for I feel like they worked hard. so I doubled my score.
Okay. It's funny you say it because, like, this movie was supposed to come out at Christmas time, and they were way behind schedule. They weren't behind, but, like, one of the guys from the studio asked Baz Luhrmann, is this going to be ready by Christmas? And he was like, yeah. He's like, is it going to be the movie you want it to be by Christmas? And he was like, no. And they gave him, like, 6 more months. I don't know what it would look like. I'd like to see the version that wasn't what he wanted. Because I bet you it was probably better. Like, he's probably just adding a bunch of random bullshit. A bunch of CGI stuff. It didn't need to be there.
I didn't even catch the 3D thing, but now it makes so much
Oh,
sense,
yeah.
and it is absolutely unnecessary.
Yeah. As far as ratings go, I didn't like this. I don't know if I would go as low as... Would you give it a 0.5?
0.5. This movie was so indulgent, man. I just couldn't get into it.
I think I'm going to give it a 1 just for, like, visuals. Like, it didn't all work for me because God knows, like, a lot of that fucking sweeping shots and, like, the motion sickness stuff was too much. But, like, the costumes were really nice. It won an Academy Award for, like, costume design. And it should have. Like,
Yes.
the costumes were really good. I really liked the party scenes, to be honest with you. Like, I thought, like, a lot went into that. Like, the choreographed dances and, like, just all the people and all the moving parts.
The, like, Roman decadence of it.
Yeah.
Like, just the insanity
So,
of
like,
these parties.
this movie was at times pretty to look at. And I will give it a 1 for that. Nothing else about this movie was any good.
It's a dead Isle of Fisher.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's pretty to look at, but it ain't doing much.
Yeah.
That's what this movie was for me. So yeah. All right. I guess we should roll our next movie.
Yeah, what are we, 196?
Let me get to the bottom here. 192.
192 it is. We have number 130.
Shit.
Oh, no.
I don't know how this works. So what I have written here is Before Sunrise, and in parentheses, I have trilogy. So apparently there's 3 of these movies. I don't know what they are. I'm going to look it up right now.
You said shit as if...
Something about this doesn't sit well with me. I don't know why.
It must be good if they made 3 of them.
The Before Sunrise trilogy. 3 American romance films directed by Richard Linklater and starring Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. Beginning with Before Sunrise and continuing with sequels Before Sunset and Before Midnight. So that's what it is. We're going to watch Before Sunrise, apparently, which is the first one. On his way to Vienna, American Jesse meets Celine, a student returning to Paris. After long conversations, forges a surprising connection between them. Jesse convinces Celine to get off the train with him in Vienna. As the night progresses, their bond makes separating in the morning a difficult choice. So that's what we've got to look forward to. I'm going to be honest, I'm not excited.
You said Ethan Hawke?
Ethan Hawke, yeah.
Oh, man, I like Ethan
And Julie
Hawke.
Delpy. I mean, Richard Linklater. I mean, the guy makes good movies.
Yeah, it's true.
And there's 3 of them. I mean, one of them's got to be good, right?
It's got to be good if they gave him 2 more, right?
Yeah, we're only watching one of these people. So Before Sunrise, and then if after that, we'll add the new one to the list, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we'll decide if we're going to have the new...
No, we will. We have no choice. All right.
This is great, actually, because I'm on Fright Pub next week for Night of the Living Dead, which is a trilogy that goes Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead.
We're doing Sunrise, Sunset, and Midnight.
Yeah.
All right. It's actually perfect. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, when we begin our journey into the Before universe with this trilogy, please follow us, subscribe to us, like us, wherever you get your podcasts at. Tell your friends. Tell your friends' friends. Tell your rich neighbor next door that just peeks at you through his curtains. You know, maybe he'll invite you to a party.
I like to watch.
And follow us on Facebook. You've Got Mails. You know, you get to see all CJ's sweet, sweet memes. I'm pumping those memes, man.
Oh.
And send us an email at you've.gotmails@yahoo.com. We're still waiting on you, German. We got a nice message from Louise today on the Facebook. The shout-out made her day, she said, when we called her out.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we love Louise. So thanks for listening, Louise.
We love you too, German. We just don't know your name.
Yeah, we want to know.
I'll start saying some real stereotypical names, Hans.
No, don't. Come on now. He doesn't mean any of that. He's already offended. He already tried to offend our Scottish listener with his talk of goats and things. I won't let it happen again.
Hey, Vegas listener, we want to know about you too.
Yeah, anybody. Gee, I know we pick out these people in like other countries because it is interesting to me that like there's anyone outside of the United States. It's amazing that anyone outside of Pittsburgh listens to us.
The amount of African people that have heard my voice is freaking me the fuck out.
It is insane. So yeah, anybody out there, if you are listening and we don't know you personally, please drop us an email and let us know how you found us, why you're listening, ask us a question, anything. So, but yeah, until next time, stay romantic and don't be shitty to each other. Old sport.
Old sport. Old sport. Old sport.
I beat you. Old sport.
Old sport.
Old sport.
Old sport.
Old sport.